Tom Cameron Crazy.
Chet Huntley. David Brinkman, John Chancellor. Tom Brokaw.
Life, death, and politics. The Terri Schiavo case. An emotional new appeal to have her feeding tube put back in. High drama as Congress and the president get involved. Law and order. 3 little girls die after police refuse to arrest their father. Now the Supreme Court takes a key case on domestic violence. Our special series, Faith in America. Tonight, evangelical Christians and Hollywood. It's been a tense relationship, but could that now be changing? And Call of the Wild. 10 years after the wolves returned to the American West, finding the balance between predators and people.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams. Substituting tonight, Campbell Brown.
Good evening. A case of life and death that has sparked debate across the country at dinner tables, in churches, hospitals, and in Congress. The fate of Terri Schiavo took another turn today. This young woman has been in what doctors describe as a persistent vegetative state for 15 years. A Florida state court ordered her feeding tube be removed Friday against the wishes of her parents. That prompted Congress to take extraordinary action. In the last 24 hours, lawmakers returned to Washington to pass a bill allowing her case to go to federal court. The president cut short his weekend in Texas to sign the bill. Now the matter is in the hands of a federal court judge in Florida. NBC's Mark Potter is standing by in Pinellas Park, Florida with the latest. Mark?
Campbell, after a 2-hour hearing, the judge left the courtroom with no indication of when he will rule on whether to reinsert Terri Schiavo's feeding tube. That delay is of particular order the tube reattached. The local hospital is standing by to do it as fast as possible. Campbell?
NBC's Mark Potter tonight in Florida. Now more on the extraordinary political maneuvering over the weekend that brought the case to that federal judge. Are the president and Republicans in Congress simply trying to do the right thing, or are they playing politics with an emotionally charged issue? Here's NBC's David Gregory.
After signing the Schiavo bill into law overnight, the president traveled to Arizona, where he interrupted a speech on Social Security to give families the option of searching for another hospital, helping to prolong lives, not cut them short. Tonight, as Terri Schiavo's fate remains uncertain, Americans are in the midst of a new debate over what the government has done and why. David Gregory, NBC News, Denver.
Now a closer look at the medical issues behind Terri Schiavo's condition. NBC's chief science correspondent Robert Bazell has some questions and answers.
Most medical experts agree.
The Supreme Court cleared the way for the only American defendant charged in the September 11th attacks to go on trial. The court rejected an effort by Zacarias Moussaoui to directly question 3 al-Qaeda prisoners as part of his defense. Moussaoui's lawyers say he had a constitutional right to confront them instead of relying on interrogation summaries, but the government said that would compromise national security. Chief Justice William Rehnquist was in court for today's arguments, his first time on the bench since being diagnosed with thyroid cancer last October. One of the cases before the justices today focused on domestic violence and what responsibility police have to protect potential victims. NBC's justice correspondent Pete Williams has our report.
What this means for Rehnquist's future on the court, his return today marks a milestone in the battle with the cancer that hit him so suddenly. Pete Williams, NBC News at the Supreme Court.
There is word late tonight of a violent attack at a northern Minnesota school. The FBI says several people have been shot, some fatally, at Red Lake High School, which is located on an Indian reservation. The FBI says as many as 14 people have been shot and some undetermined number killed. Officials say a suspect is in custody. Up next, NBC News in depth. Living wills. The Terri Schiavo case has millions of Americans thinking about putting their wishes in writing. And later, 10 years after wolves were reintroduced into the American West, a critical question: can they coexist with people? Case and the misery her family has endured in these last 15 years has focused attention on living wills, the legal document that spells out exactly how you want to be treated if you can't make the decision yourself. In depth tonight, here's NBC's Kerry Sanders.
I don't want to discuss any of that.
Behind the media frenzy,
Still ahead this Monday night, our series on faith in America. Is God welcome in Hollywood?
The Shivo case, NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
On Wall Street today, stocks were lower. The Dow was down more than 64 points. The Nasdaq lost a fraction of 1 point. News today, a disease that causes severe birth defects and can even kill babies is no longer a threat. Health officials say the rubella virus, also known as German measles, has been eliminated in the United States. Despite today's good news, health officials warn children should still be vaccinated, as should women who might become pregnant, because you can still catch rubella in other countries. All this week on all of the broadcast of NBC News, we are looking at issues of faith in America, its many manifestations, and some of the surprising places you find it. Recently, in Hollywood, for example. It turns out there is another side to Tinseltown, and as Brian Williams tells us, it is slowly but surely making its presence felt.
Hollywood, with all its star power, and when his own shows made to do what a lot of churches and organized religions have been doing for years. Take a good message, find a way to broadcast it to the people. And
Brian Williams reporting tonight. And tomorrow morning on Today, our NBC News series continues, and the issue is money management guided by religious concerns. We're back in a moment with some dramatic changes in the American West.
The power of NBC News online with free video. MSNBC.com.
The Nightly Journal, brought to you by Walmart. Always low prices. Always.
It was one of the boldest and most controversial science experiments in U.S. history, reintroducing the gray wolf to its former home in Yellowstone Park. The wolves have been driven out of their natural habitat by hunting, but 10 years ago that changed. Ranchers predicted disaster, environmentalists cheered. How has it turned out? Here's NBC's Roger O'Neill.
It's as if they were never gone. National Park.
That's Nightly News for this Monday, March 21st, 2005. I'm Campbell Brown in for Brian Williams. We'll look for you right back here tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization.